Welcome to Lightning Within 5. I'm your host, Jennifer Jensen, alongside
Senior Airman Jacob Dostis, and we make up your Tyndall Air Force Base's Public Affairs Media Team.
So Thanksgiving's rolling around the corner.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm so excited not only to get a break from work. No offense, Air Force. We love you. But also the food. I feel like that is literally the only thing that Thanksgiving is about, is the food. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
See, I'm a ham guy more than a turkey guy.
Gross.
How is that gross?
Stop it.
How?
That is so unethical.
The only time that I have ever preferred turkey over ham is when my brother fried a turkey.
Oh, I was just about to say, I so look forward to my husband's fried turkey every year.
You have it every year?
Every year. Like, it is that good.
I want to try doing it on my own, but I know I'm going to be one of those people that lights their house on fire. I just know it.
So maybe watch a couple YouTube videos before you do it.
Yeah, and then it's like you got to make sure it's like completely thawed.
And dry.
And my brother was doing this thing where he was like injecting it.
Yes.
With the big needle with all the seasonings and stuff. See, I like
all the goodness.
I like the idea of eating that, but I don't like the idea of preparing that. Ham's easy, man. Ham is like already pretty much cooked. You throw like a little bit of glaze on that bad boy, pop it in the oven. It's a fan favorite.
No, man. No.
All right, fine.
Turkey sandwiches?
Turkey sandwiches.
Leftover turkey sandwiches.
Are you going to tell me that a ham leftover sandwich is more iconic?
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Incorrect, but that's fine. Fine. What's
favorite
your favorite
side dish?
You didn't answer your main dish.
I said turkey.
Turkey's your number one? How basic.
No, deep fried turkey.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
give me the boring oven roasted turkey.
Yeah.
Deep fried.
Okay, fair. Side dish? I like a mean mashed potato, but mac and cheese is also up there. It's got to be a good baked mac and cheese, though. I'm not like a green bean casserole guy, and I don't understand the people that actually get the cranberries on their plate. I feel like...
How dare you?
Are we going to fight about everything Thanksgiving? Is that what this is going to be about?
I am one of those weirdos that loves that canned cranberry sauce.
Why?
Oh my God.
It is
that slaps.
gelatin cranberry.
It's so good.
What do you put it on?
You just eat it separately. It's kind of like a healthier dessert.
There's no way that a congealed amount of cranberry, whatever goo that is good for you. First of all, everything that, let's be realistic. If you're having a good Thanksgiving, everything that is on your plate has been cooked in or has some kind of butter or oil on it.
Absolutely.
It's just reality.
Yeah.
And then you want to give me ocean spray canned cranberry gelatin? Whose house am I at right now? Because it's not my house. No, my grandma would be voted off the island. Absolutely not.
Okay, let's...
Your favorite side dish? Cranberry sauce?
No.
Then what's your favorite?
My favorite, I don't know that this is more of a dessert, but I make a mean pumpkin roll.
Pumpkin roll.
Have you not had this?
I don't think I've had this.
Bro, it's like a pumpkin pie filling pretty much, but it's like spongier. Mm-hmm. And you put a cream cheese filling in it and roll it up. Oh my God. With some pecans. We recently just wrapped up Checkered Flag 24-1, and it was great. We had visiting units, some all the way from Australia. We had Langley here, we had Buckley here, and we got some pretty dope footage of what was going on. It's pretty intense. We talked about it last episode about, the traffic increase and more people in town, because we have I think for this previous exercise, Colonel Watkins said 600 plus people.
Right.
So it's over with. So we can breathe a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
One of our 2 yearly Super Bowls.
Yes.
It's pretty big. If you don't know what Checkered Flag is, you're new to the base, or you're just not as hip to all the exercises going on base. Is it biannual? Is that the right word? It's a biannual Department of Defense and even allied partners exercise that Tyndall hosts or at least we host one of them. I believe there's another one. Yeah,
At Red Flag.
Yeah, there's Red Flag and a few others, but Checkered Flag is hosted here at Tyndall, where basically there is a lot of exercises and training with the fighter pilots, with the maintainers, with anybody that has to do with aircraft here, where they practice over the Gulf of Mexico and even sometimes over land with air-to-air combat and air-to-ground combat, just making sure that the all of our deployable and combat-ready members are up to speed and pretty much ready to go at a moment's notice. So that's pretty much what this last Checkered Flag has been. I would say that it's been a success. Obviously, we'll have to get more information from our upcoming guest, Colonel Bergtholdt. But I got some pretty cool shots. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah. Along with Checkered Flag, yes, the traffic increased because we have more people here, but also going on is that huge construction project. We call it the flyover. They are trying to finish it up. Hopefully very soon that will be done and it will alleviate some of the traffic. Just so everybody that's listening is aware, we do send out traffic updates. So if the traffic patterns shift, or if there's a lane closure, we always send out emails letting our Team Tyndall members know that that's happening. We understand it's inconvenient. We know that the lights are extra long right now, but once that project is done, it should move us fairly quickly, along with the front gate construction.
Right, yeah. Once the flyover is done, pretty much all of the actual going through traffic of 98 should really have no reason to stop, because it's going to bypass all of the gates and make it easier for all of the members to actually go to and from both sides of the installation. But I don't remember the date that we're tracking on when it's due.
Not sure. We'll have to get a rebuild person in here from the NDR. Recent happenings on base. Today we went to a tech expo. So every year the Comm Squadron partners up with a bunch of different vendors dealing in the latest and greatest technology. Some of the vendors that were there today, I saw drones. I saw our NDR people there with our Zero Eyes and Digital Twin. That's pretty cool. That if you haven't experienced that and you're interested in seeing what the new buildings on base are going to look like, the Digital Twin will actually put you in whatever building you want to see, and you put on the AI headset and walk through it. It's crazy. Yep. The technology in that is awesome.
There's also the new Zero Eyes program that they're trying to put out. I think the gentleman over at the AFCEC was letting me know that there's over 60 different cameras throughout inside and outside buildings on base that are able to use the Zero Eyes capabilities. And if you're not familiar with what Zero Eyes is, basically it is a mass shooter, anti-accident or incident program that is able to recognize almost immediately a weapon, and not just a weapon, but a weapon that is being held or being in some form of capacity in a threatening manner, and it can detect it and immediately send a message off to security forces here on base so that they can try to mitigate whatever's going on.
I 100% feel like that needs to be in every single school across America. Every
school, probably most like stores and even like most office buildings would be really good, because I got to demo it myself, and it literally, we were using obviously fake dummy weapons, and it literally picked up. It picked up not only the weapon in a matter of seconds, but it has the capability to not just pick up a weapon, but it zeroes in on how you're holding it. So I could take the dummy weapon and I could put it down on the ground, and the camera may be seeing it, but it's not detecting that it's a threat. But the second that I picked up the weapon and I put it like in my hand in a way that seemed like a threatening manner, the alarm went off and immediately started sending out a message to security forces letting them know. And obviously this was all simulated, but it's gonna, like, when they talk about the installation of the future, it's steps like that make it much more realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple other stuff out there too. We had a couple different vendors. I think Amazon Business was out there. Microsoft Federal was out there.
Lots of techie options, things that I would not comprehend because I'm not tech savvy.
They were pretty high level stuff.
Yeah.
We also brought out the local media. Shout out to Channel 7 and Channel 13 for always repping us and coming out and showcasing some of the cool stuff we got going on here at Tyndall Air Force Base. Always like to help those guys out.
Some of the events coming up, we are having a children's holiday party December 2nd. If you would like more information about that, you can check out our website or ask your military member at Tyndall to look at their SharePoint because it does run. All the announcements run on there, or the base marquee when you're driving on base. It'll be on there for more information.
If you want to check out all those photos from Tech Day, from Checkered Flag, the newest episode of the podcast that's been published is up there, and any other cool happenings that are going on around Tyndall Air Force Base is going to be up on our Facebook page and our Instagram and also on tyndall.af.mil. So make sure to check out those websites because that's where you get all your information. That's pretty much all the new information we have going on here at Tyndall Air Force Base, so make sure you stick around because when we come back from the break, we're going to be sitting down with our Operations Group Commander, Colonel Bergtholdt, here on Lightning Within 5.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Lightning Within 5. I'm your host, Jennifer Jensen, and I am here with our guest, the 325th Ops Group Commander, Colonel Bergtholdt. I did it. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. We went to the Tech Expo this morning. You were there. You got to see all the cool technology that's coming. Our NDR people were there. That was pretty cool. But let's talk about Checkered Flag. We just wrapped Checkered Flag. So being the Ops Group Commander, you are heavy into that. You were flying and you orchestrate the whole thing along with your Checkered Flag team, correct?
Correct, yep.
So what were the big takeaways from this previous exercise?
So for this exercise, we made a bunch of changes that are kind of transparent to everybody on the ground. But for our pilots and our airborne, our command and control teams, quite a bit of change from the previous exercises. First big change is that we got a much larger airspace. So we had airspace that spanned from Louisiana all the way over to near Tampa, so about 300 miles long. And then within that, we had a larger area that we could fight in. And this is more representative of what we would see in the Pacific or potentially in a conflict with Russia as well. Before we get into kind of the success of Checkered Flag, I'll explain what Checkered Flag is. So Checkered Flag is an ACC exercise that COMAC has the 325th Fighter Wing execute. So as the Ops Group Commander, I'm the Checkered Flag Commander. And so I've got a team that runs that exercise, kind of establishes the goals for it. They work with the squadrons that are visiting, and we kind of establish what they want to get out of the exercise. So in this last exercise, we had the Australians were here. We had Marines. We had F-22s from up at Langley visiting. Buckley Air National Guard was visiting. In the spring, we'll see a much larger Checkered Flag. This one was relatively small, but small, large, doesn't really matter. It was still a phenomenal exercise. So what the squadrons are really looking to do is to take advantage of the great overwater airspace we have. What we're really training against is the advanced air-to-air threat that now exists out in the world that really has developed over the last 2 decades or so. It's been kind of a sea change, and without that airspace available, it's really hard for air crews to train to that in the live fly environment. A lot of this can be done in the sim, but just flying in the sim's not quite the same.
We talked to Colonel Watkins last episode. I don't know if you actually listened to that last podcast, but we talked to him about pushing the pickle button. So we found that pretty interesting. What's your favorite part? Like when you're in a dogfight, like what is your ultimate favorite part?
It's the whole thing. So on a typical Checkered Flag sortie, you're going to take off and depending on your flow, one of the first things you're going to do, you're going to fly out to the airspace and you're going to hit a tanker so that you've got a full load of gas. And that allows you to fight longer and to use afterburner and fly faster, so at a more tactical airspeed. After that, you're going to get in the cap, and you are going to prepare for the fight to start. And it starts either with the enemy crossing a certain line that we've drawn in the sand of, hey, if anybody crosses that line, we're going to go out. From there, you're fighting. The fights these days happen at very long ranges. They start at very long ranges, and then obviously you end up pretty close. Just based on where we're at with air-to-air missiles, you're not getting into dogfights, although that certainly is a possibility.
So you're not pulling like Pearl Harbor scenes of like barely escaping each other.
No,
darn it.
It's not quite as sexy as it used to be.
Yeah.
In terms of up close.
More technology helps, right?
More technology helps and hurts, right? From
Yeah.
the threat perspective.
We also recently had the official welcoming ceremony for the 35s. It was big, it was fancy. Lockheed Martin was here. We had General Laidlaw here. That was pretty awesome to hear him talk about how Hurricane Michael just totally ruined us. But it's done. It's over. We're here. So what are the next milestones for these 35s or just the ops groups, honestly?
Yeah, so if everybody's tracking, we're supposed to have 3 squadrons of F-35s. It looks like the second and third one might be delayed until 2027 and the third one 2028. No matter, the next big milestone for the 95th and the ops group is the next big arrival of aircraft. So we're sitting at 8 F-35s now, and then sometime next summer, it's likely that we'll double that number. And so with that, that'll mean a whole bunch more maintainers in the maintenance group. It'll mean a whole bunch more folks in the ops group, and then a heck of a lot more jet noise here at Tyndall.
We love jet noise, though.
Sound freedom.
Along with the 35s, our mission has changed, right?
Right. So we went from a F-22 training mission. So we're training new pilots to fly the F-22 to focus on a combat mission. So really what that requires of the wing is to transition from that training mindset to now training to go to combat, preparing to go to combat. And with that brings a requirement for deployments and really getting the whole wing ready to support that mission. Not that they weren't before, just a slightly different mindset.
Yes, so we're combat coded now, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So along with the 35s coming and more personnel coming, that means a lot of impact and change for our local community. When I think about it, I think of economic growth. The more people we have here, the better the community is going to be. I think the community is going to gain such awesome impact from us having more personnel here. Not only are we having the military personnel, but we're also going to have the spouses and the kids. And the spouses bring so much to the table too, with jobs and just helping out in the community. So what do you think is the biggest impact that will happen for our community?
Well, I think that probably the most important thing is that we're very fortunate at Tyndall to have great community support. There's very few places that you'll go around the country where the local community asks for more jet noise, and we have that here. But the leadership in the community recognizes that housing is an issue. They recognize that quality schools are important for people. So they are actively working on making this a place that people want to live and not just live, but live well. So they are actively engaged with leadership here on Tyndall, as well as Naval Support Activity Panama City. So very engaged in what we're doing and very excited about what we have going on at Tyndall.
Speaking of community, what's your favorite part about living in Panama City?
Oh man, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the bay.
Yeah.
And the sunsets.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
The beaches, I found that our beaches are kind of like baby powder, and the water is a little more emerald, if you will. I recently went to Destin, and there's is more of like a typical beach sand. I know that's such a weird difference, but that's the only difference I saw in the beaches. They're gorgeous. That's my favorite part about being here, is when everybody else is freezing up north, we're still at the beach and going in the ocean. So I love that.
You might be a beach sand snob.
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed. Now we know.
I didn't either, but saying it out loud, yes, I can see that. Okay. Thanksgiving's coming up. Are you excited? Do you like Thanksgiving?
Oh, I love Thanksgiving. Love the fall. My favorite time of year.
Do you roast or fry a turkey?
Roast.
Really?
I have fried. Yep, I have fried.
Have you fried it the appropriate way, though? Because I feel like once you fry it and it's like good, you don't go back.
Listen, you need to know I'm a phenomenal cook in my own mind. So
In your own mind?
roasting, but I think the key is that you got to brine the turkey for a couple days. That is absolutely critical.
Gotcha.
If you're not brining, you're going to have a dry turkey.
Gotcha. Okay. This psychopath next to me, Dastis, said that he likes ham for Thanksgiving, and I told him that's unethical.
I'm a ham guy.
It's so disrespectful to the holiday.
Incorrect.
I don't think there's anything wrong with ham, but
But it's Thanksgiving.
you have to have a good ham.
No, it has to be turkey. Whatever.
I have no microphone to defend myself.
Okay. With the holidays coming up, I think it's so important for our team and essentially everybody, honestly, to just take time to focus on themselves, whether that's relaxing or recharging, because everybody's kind of, excited for the holidays and they're ready to do what makes them happy, right?
I disagree. I think people should double down on work. And
No, you don't.
no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is the time of year where we've had a busy year across the wing. Doesn't matter what group you're in, it's been busy. There's been a lot going on. This time of year, we've got some time off. It's a great time to relax, recharge, kind of look back on things and figure out what went well, what didn't go so well, enjoy some good food, and yeah.
And be with family and friends, or if you like your coworkers enough, hang out with them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also focus on your own well-being. Get out there, even if it's your New Year's resolution, like try to exercise, try to get more sleep. Yes, some of you are cynical and say like, oh, that's impossible, I have children. But if you make a valid effort, like you can make yourself better and feel better about yourself.
Yeah, those who know me well know that I'm pretty passionate, I guess you could say, about my health, which includes sleep, diet, and exercise. And I know when I've got all those things squared away, I feel way better than when I don't have them squared away.
So does that mean that you're a hard commander on your squadrons when it comes to PT?
I prefer that our squadrons find time to incorporate PT, absolutely. For a couple reasons. One, it's another thing to do as a group outside of work, kind of get out of the office and get some fresh air. Two, obviously we've got a readiness requirement, and your physical readiness is a key part of that. And then three, but more and more studies show that physical activity and exercise is absolutely key, not just to your physical health, but also to your mental health. Doesn't matter where you work, people are people, right?
Yeah.
And having a wingman, I have to have a wingman. There's people I need to be able to reach out to and talk to if, all sorts of wacky things come up in life. So having somebody you can reach out and talk to is key. I've had what would seem to many a lifetime in the Air Force, so that I've kind of got people all over the place. If you're new in the Air Force, figuring out who that friend might be or who you can reach out to can be difficult. Obviously, there's people like chaplains, or I know anybody's commander would certainly listen. That's probably not the person most people would lean to. Maybe a shirt, but I know there's all sorts of people out there that are looking for friends and whatnot. So
you're not alone.
Not alone, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you are heavily involved in some of the upcoming events for the holidays, such as the kids' holiday party, correct?
Correct, yep.
And when is that going to be taking place?
So that's going to be on, is it the 2nd? 2nd of December?
Yes.
Saturday, 2 December. It goes from 10 to noon. Santa's going to show up in an F-35. And there's going to be all sorts of activities for the kids. Essentially, they're going to get like a little passport, and they're going to take this passport around to different stations that squadrons will be manning, and there'll be activities for the kids to do. Santa's going to be wandering around. We've got Buddy the Elf will be wandering around. Mrs. Claus is going to be there as well.
That about wraps it up for us, sir. Thank you so much for stopping by and doing our podcast.
Thanks for having me, and happy holidays.
This has been Lightning Within 5. Stay tuned for our next episode.